everyone, welcome to the channel. It's Carolyn. Today I have a collective reading for you, and I am so excited for this collective message because your guides just feel like they have such a good energy and they are so talkative. I keep getting all these different references they want me to point out for you. The first thing that's standing out to me is the angel number 6116. So if you haven't seen that number, or if that number intrigues you in some way, this is a message that's meant for you. For your cards today, you have the Three of Cups, the Fool, Five of Pentacles, Queen of Emotions, the Priestess, and the Magician reverse. Ambush fear with your ferocious dream, card 51, Your Light, card 56, and Cut the Cords of Doubt, card 42. So the first thing I want to point out here is the dream-like, fantasy-like color scheme we have going on. How the cards just flow into one another with the different colors, and I use 3 different decks. And they all play with each other in a really beautiful way, in my opinion. And the way your spirit guide was conveying this message to me is almost as if this is your coming of age story. And it doesn't mean like this has to be your first coming of age. It just means almost like an initiation or a process that's transforming you in some way. And it's reminding me of fantasy-like books where typically there's like the prince or the princess who has to go through these steps in order to become the person that they're always meant to be, whether it's like the chosen one trope or something along those lines, where it's like you might have this identity, you might have this security in who you are, but now you're being thrown into a situation that's going to dismantle that and reform who you are. And so it's like everything you once thought you knew is disappearing. And with the Three of Cups, this is like a time of celebration. This is like going out, having fun with your friends, and not being afraid of things, not having any doubt, not having any insecurity holding you back, because things are going good. And when things are going good, you're not afraid of the bad. You're just embracing the moment. You're very grounded in the present moment. And then you have the energy of the Fool into the Five of Pentacles, which tells me there's a new beginning. After this fun time of your life, you're starting something new. And now, oh shit, it didn't go to plan. That's reaffirmed with the Magician being reversed. Your skills that you have is not necessarily what you need to accomplish this next goal of yours. Something else I want to point out is your feelings right now are very important, but sometimes your feelings consume you or they weigh you down. Because if we look at the cards here and the colors, to me, it's like all your chakras are pretty well balanced besides your sacral and your solar plexus, because they're standing out to me with this Five of Pentacles, which means that there's this energy of doubt tied to them. And so this is going to be your creativity, this is going to be your action, your motivation, what you do, how you act, and it's going to be your inner feelings with it. Now with the Queen of Emotions, this means that there's some regulation for you. But it almost feels this Queen of Emotions is coming as one of your guides or someone in your life who is this feminine-like energy, who's giving you advice, who has wisdom to pass along to you. Because the Queen of Emotions, to me, the purple is standing out. Now, purple is the color of royalty. I also associate it with the crown and the third eye chakra, which is wisdom, which is witnessing things and absorbing that information. And something else to point out that I'm just realizing with this Queen of Emotions is you have this Queen of Emotions here and you have another female in the backdrop. So it feels like you are gaining wisdom through other people. Someone's trying to share advice with you and you need to pay attention. You need to listen to it. Some of you do automatic writing because some of you with this priestess energy, your spiritual abilities are very strong, but you are not utilizing them because you haven't built up your skills with them. One of the things that your guides is telling you is not that you don't have good skills, but a lot of the skills that you have previously learned is irrelevant to this new journey and chapter of your life. Going with the Your Light card, your spirit guides want you to understand that you are light and you don't need to dim your light down for anyone, but at the same time, if the light is too bright for you, you can dim it as your eyes adjust. So you're not dimming yourself permanently, but you can take things slow until you get the hang of it, until you get the grip of it. A lot of you with this Five of Pentacles, there's a lot of inner critique and doubt that you have to release, that you're being told you're in a safe space to grow and evolve. But at the same time, shifting and changing can be scary. You are going to have these fears when you were chasing your dream. And so it's okay if you need to take baby steps in order to get there. Some of you, you have a cycle of fear or generational trauma that holds you back mentally from being able to face this fear and chase your dream. And what your guides are telling you is to slowly unravel that fear. The way you overcome fear is by facing it. And by facing it requires you to act and put yourself into situations that stirs up that fear inside of you so that you can face it and you can overcome it. You have to be courageous in order to do that. And so when you are overcoming fear, it's not going to be a one and done thing. Sometimes for small things it is, but when it's something that's really daunting and really scary, you have to keep revisiting it. You have to keep putting in that work. It also feels like there's some blocks for you because you have not done things traditionally, or you haven't been given permission, or you haven't gotten in to the correct quote unquote course of action to manifest this. So kind of what I mean. Let's say some of you never went to college, but you want to start a business. Let's say you don't have this specific skill that your career requires. Let's say you never had a healthy relationship before, but you want to be in a healthy marriage. It feels like internally you are feeling with this Five of Pentacles that you don't have what's required of you to get into this door, to unlock it, to look at the key and unlock it and get into this new threshold of your life. And so because of that, you feel like you can't graduate to the next level. You don't deserve this manifestation. You don't deserve this new milestone in your life. And so you're beating yourself up. You're chastising yourself for these things that you don't have, for the lack in your life, instead of understanding that other people's path is not the only path. Instead of understanding that you don't need to unlock this door when you were the high priestess here. The high priestess can get through any door she wants, and she doesn't even need a key because she can astral project. There's other ways to get the same information, even if it's not the same way. Google, YouTube, it's all free. You can learn anything about anything. It looks different than traditional learning. It's not the same way that a hands-on experience is going to be, but it is a step in the right direction. And so maybe you're not going to go through this door for your path, but there's a door right outside of it that you can go down that gets you to that same path, that gets you on that same route. It feels like you're so caught up in how things have to be done that you overthink and you overcomplicate this situation because of this doubt. Going back to the book analogy, when you're reading a book, the main character is constantly doubting themselves. They're not going to necessarily believe in themselves the way that other people believe in them. I think of books like The Hunger Games. Katniss does not by any means think that she's this like courageous role model. She's just simply trying to survive, and she's trying to protect those that she cares about. The same could be said for you. You might not think of yourself as any great leader, but at the end of the day, what you feel, how you think about yourself, if you are afraid or not, does not matter. It is about your actions. And that's where with your solar plexus chakra, that feels a little bit blocked. And so in order to unblock that, you just need to act and trust that if you tap into the energy of the Fool, things are going to line into place. Even if you don't believe it, you don't have a choice but to act in order to get where you want to be. Sometimes the people who wing it end up with the greatest success. Because there's a song that I like, it's called To the Bank. And one of the lines is, can't be in the game when you're sitting on the couch. And I feel like that's what your spirit guides is trying to bring to your attention, is that at the end of the day, your actions get you where you want to be. If you put yourself out there, yes, you face the backlash of fear, but you still are moving in the right direction. You're taking those small steps. A lot of you with the Three of Cups here, you're used to being rewarded. You're used to being celebrated. You're used to having the support of others. And in this instance, it's scary because you feel alone. You feel isolated. You feel like you don't have that support. And whether that's true or not is irrelevant, because at the end of the day, your support is the only one that's going to get you where you want to be. And what your guides are telling you with the Priestess energy here is that you are supported. The universe is supporting you. You're just not looking for the right signs. You're out here overthinking, overcomplicating everything. And because it's not the previous signs that you've received, you think you're not getting anything. That's why the Magician is reversed, because the skills that you have built up is not the same skills that you're utilizing right now. And so because it's different, because there's a change, because there's a shift, you are not understanding the new signs that you are being shown, the new things that is coming into your life and leading the path for you. raw intention. That is how all your ideas start. That is how every single thing, every single shift that you wanted to make in your life, every change that you've ever wanted has been an intention. And I'm hearing from your guides, it's like the life that you're living right now, everything that you're going through, you've asked for it. You've asked for this end destination, this end goal, this end manifestation to be yours. The universe isn't doing this to you because they hate you. This change, this breakdown of previous belief systems and having to re-find yourself, rediscover who you are, having to face your fears, having to discover your own light, having to cut the cords of doubt. This is all stuff that's required of you in order to get that end game. And so this intention that you set, the universe is listening to you. This situation, in a way, is your sign. The universe is saying, you asked for this. This is what's required of you to get that. And so we're delivering on it. You have to trust that in the end, the process is going to go exactly to plan. You just didn't think about all this work that was required of you before getting that. You just wanted to wake up instantly and have it. That's not how it works. But the stuff that's going on is not because the universe hates you. The stuff that's going on is because you set the intention for it, and the universe is trying to help you out the only way it can. The only way to get what you want is to go through the process. Same with healing. The only way to heal is to go through the pain and figure out what your wounds are so that you can work on healing them. You can't wish to be healed without putting in the work. You can't wish for this end game, for this manifestation, without doing the work it takes to get there. And also what I'm hearing for you is 22. Card 56 is 11. So we have 22, we have 11. And so we have a lot of mirroring going on with the numbers as well. And like I was saying, you have 6116 when you break down the numerology of the Sacred Creator cards that is appearing. So some of you, where you're not realizing signs in your life, some of the ways the universe is giving you signs is through repetition. Whether it's something in your life repeating, whether it's meeting a lot of Geminis because they're the sign of twins, whether it's by meeting a lot of twins in your life, whether it is seeing the numbers repeating multiple times in a row. There's some sort of repetition going on in your life that is meant to be your sign. And if you see a constant denominator of situations going on in your life where the same cycle, the same lesson is being repeated to you, you have to look at yourself and ask yourself why that is, and see what lesson the universe wants you to learn from that situation in order to help you move forward. Because a lot of you, the repetition that comes from the different lessons in your life are the new skills you're meant to build. They're the new skills you're meant to take into this next lesson. You're overlooking them because you don't want to do the work. Some of you, it feels like you're putting your feelings over what you want. You're putting your feelings of, and we have the Eight of Pentacles. Some of you, you're putting your feelings of not wanting to do the work, of feeling like things are difficult, feeling like you're a failure, feeling like they're not working out. All these negative things that you tell yourself that you're feeling internally, you're using your feelings to justify your lack of actions. And you're creating this cycle or this loop where you're feeling bad about yourself. So therefore you continue to do nothing to change it. So therefore you continue to feel worse about yourself. Instead of acknowledging this is how I'm feeling, but that does not have to determine how I act. It doesn't have to determine what I do. My feelings don't have any action over what action I take in life. That's something you have to repeat to yourself, because it's easy when you are not feeling good about yourself. It's easy to want to give up. But at the end of the day, you have to ask, is that helping my intention of getting where I want to be? Or is that just prolonging me sitting here and crying and waiting and nothing ever changes? Because right now I understand, like, you're not where you want to be. But you can either do something about it and move forward, and then when you're in that happy place, you're not going to have to feel these feelings anymore, or you can sit here permanently and always complain about feeling this way but not doing anything to change it. Now, the Eight of Pentacles here also is that you need to streamline what you are doing. A lot of you are overcomplicating what you need to do because you're not allowing yourself to multitask. And I know multitasking is a skill in itself, but you can't just like do one thing and sit and wait and watch it grow, because that's like if you were to plant a garden and you literally did it one seed at a time, where you dig up the grass, you plant the seed, you do everything you need to tend for it, and you just sit and you watch. And then once it finally blooms, and you move on to the next. You're going to waste so much time and effort that way. You have to plant everything at once. And then when you watch them grow, you're distracted from the things that might be taking longer. And then when those things finally blossom, then you're not even going to notice how long it took because you were distracted by the other things in your garden. Part of the reason you're doubting yourself is because you're not keeping yourself busy enough. You're too focused on this one area of your life or this one goal that you're not acknowledging the wins and the success in other areas of your life as well. You're not multitasking. And so you're going to be bored out of your mind if you're just waiting on one goal to bloom in front of you, because a lot of things in life, they take a while. They don't go as fast as we want. And so if you don't have anything else going for you, it's going to be like sitting and watching paint dry. It's not going to be fun for you. Of course, you're going to end up going crazy, because no one would want to do that. Like, that's not something that's enjoyable. So you're sitting here torturing yourself because you're not learning how to multitask. The Empress energy. That to me is very similar to this Queen of Emotions and the Priestess energy that's going on here. You have so much power inside of yourself. You have so much potential that you just need to act with. Because the thing about the Empress is that she represents life in itself. She is the energy of life. And the thing is, like, even if, let's go as literal as having actual children, you don't have a child just by saying, I want to have a child. You take action to have a child, and then you take on that responsibility once that child is born. And the same thing with whatever your intention is. It's so much more than just setting the intention. It's actually acting in accordance with that intention and then taking care of it once you are on the path to get it. There's a level of responsibility and mindfulness that you need to accept. Again, going to these tropes of books, it's almost like you're at that major plot in the book where, let's say we're going with the chosen one plot, where the main character does not want to accept that they are the chosen one because they don't want the complications that come with it. But at the end of the day, not accepting your role doesn't mean that you don't have it. Like, let's take children again in this example. If you have taken the steps to have a child, you saying, I don't want to be a parent anymore, doesn't mean that you don't have that responsibility. It just means that you're not accepting it. At the end of the day, that child is born. And so the same thing with this intention. At the end of the day, you asked for this. At the end of the day, it's waiting for you to take it. It's waiting for you to step up to the plate and take that responsibility. So you either can learn these new skills, you either can grow, you can take baby steps to get there, but you can eventually get there. Or you can deny that responsibility and never get what you want. But at the end of the day, that's on you then. You have to take accountability for that. You either choose to face your fears or you choose to be afraid of them. And obviously it's more complex than that, but in its simplest form, that's exactly what's going on. The Page of Cups. You're getting a lot of cups and pentacle energy because materials is pentacles and you have cups. So what I'm hearing is that you do have this practical energy within you. It's just almost untapped. It feels like previously everything you got either like came naturally to you or you didn't have to work hard for it. It's like you just kind of felt things and it's like you were lucky, you magnetized them to you. You were in like your law of attraction type energy, and now it's not that you're not in the law of attraction, but what you're asking requires much more effort of you. And so instead of just being like, I feel like I should get this, or I feel worthy of this, or I feel like I want this, so I'm gonna go and get it, now it's like, okay, I want this, but now I gotta put in the steps. And there's a little bit of a disconnect because you want this instant result, and your emotions is like, hey, I want this, I asked for it, but I don't have it now, so now I'm going to be upset. And it's like you're allowing your emotions to drive you instead of trusting that the practical steps will get you where you want to be. You have to allow logic to override your emotions and your dramaticness with this situation, because it feels like you're being very dramatic when you don't need to be. It's just there's a disconnect right now because you got to be a little bit more patient. I also feel like some of you, like you're allowing your doubt and your emotions to cloud your judgment, where you put this out there that you wanted it from the universe. And hold on, I want to show these two cards before I continue with what I was saying. So I love this for you actually because it goes with the point that I was going to make. You have the Eight of Swords and the King of Pentacles coming out together. So the Eight of Swords, this is the energy of being trapped, of tying yourself up into a giant knot of stress and feeling helpless, feeling like you don't have any way to get out of it, but really you're the one who blindfolded yourself. You're the one who tied yourself up. If you look at this imagery, the girl here is not tied up at all. In the mirror, in her reflection, in her perception, she is. That's how she is feeling. Just how you're feeling like things is not connected with where you want to be. But in reality, you are the King of Pentacles here. Meaning you attract money, you attract abundance. Everything you want, you're able to get because you cultivated it. You planted all those seeds. You multitasked. You learned all these skills yourself. And so here you are feeling like everything's impossible when you're being told from the universe it's not impossible, this is just what you need to do. And going with what I was saying about the Page of Cups, it almost feels like there's so much doubt within you that the fact that you didn't get this instantly now has you second guessing. Did you ask for too much? Is this really impossible? Are you even capable of it? Because now that it hasn't come in yet, you're feeling helpless and hopeless, like it's never going to come in. And that's where you're trapping yourself, saying that you don't know what you're doing. You're putting yourself down when that's not what the universe wants you to do. The universe just needs you to be a little bit more patient and put more effort in. A lot of you, if you actually reflect on how much work you have put into this, is not as much as you necessarily know it takes. Let's say that you're trying to grow a business, but you never promote your business. Well, sure, you might have set everything up perfectly, but if you don't promote yourself, if you don't market yourself, no one's going to know that you exist. That's not everyone else's fault. That's your fault because you're not doing what it takes. Let's say that you want to get into a really healthy relationship, but you're not putting yourself on dating apps. You're not asking people out in person. You're not looking for people who are available. You're just hoping and wishing that someone's going to magically come up to you. They might, but that's not a guarantee, and so you're not doing everything you can to find it. It feels like you're taking a very passive approach to your own life and then being upset when things are passive, when they're not coming in. Because you have the Nine of Materials, the Star, Three of Materials, the Fool again. So we have the Fool from both decks, Seven of Emotions, and then the Two of Materials. Put it up here so you can see it. The Nine of Materials is about success, but independent success and being able to accomplish things on your own, like learn your lessons and act accordingly to build yourself up, build up your internal goals. So this means that even if your goal involves other people, there's a level of growth within yourself that you're going to have internally. The Star is your path. It is your guidance. It is your guides literally trying to like breadcrumb the way for you to find where you need to be. It's giving Hansel and Gretel. The Three of Materials is interesting because this is an energy about working with others, and it's reminding me of the Queen of Emotion card that you have. And so there's a little bit of a contradiction with the Nine of Materials and the Three of Materials. But what I'm sensing having them paired together is that this is working with others in a collaboration, in a way where they're helping you out. They're not doing the work for you. This is not like you starting a business and hiring all these other people to do the work and build your business for you. This is you being the leader, the one that everyone looks up to, but then hiring people to help you out or asking people for advice. When it comes to whatever goal you're working on, you're going to be the sole winner of it, so to speak. But that doesn't mean that you don't work with other people in some way, or they don't give you advice, or you don't lean on them for support. This Fool card is reiterating the message to you that when things don't go to plan during your path, when you are facing roadblocks, just pick yourself back up and keep on walking. You so easily want to give up with the Five of Pentacles here. You want to give up, you want to walk away. But what your guides are trying to tell you is like, sure, you're going to get knocked down. Sure, you're going to face problems. Not everything's going to go how you want it to. That doesn't mean that you can't recover from it. That doesn't mean you can't learn from it. Because at the end of the day, with Seven of Emotions here, it's your choice. But what this Two of Materials wants to point out to you is that you need to have a logical approach intertwined with your emotions. Like I said earlier, for the most part, you were materials and emotions here. The One Sword card you got was here with the Eight of Swords. Everything else is about practicality, it's about your materials and your emotions. And so you're easily swayed by your emotions. But the Two of Materials is your spirit guides urging you that you bring some level of practicality in to every choice that you make. I think the biggest, most useful piece of advice your guides have to share with you is before you act, before you do anything, you reflect on if it's going to help you out or not. And if it's just something that you're doing in the moment that's not going to lead to anything for you, then it's not worth it. But if there's something that's going to benefit you, then it's okay. So for example, if you have the option to face your fear or to not, you should go with the option to face that fear, to begin the process of dismantling it. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that if you want to watch TV for the day, that you're not able to do that. It's about asking yourself, do I need to watch TV right now? Is this going to help me? And if the answer is yes, because let's say that you already did something to face your fear and it stressed you out and now you just need to decompress, then that's going to be beneficial for you. It's going to help you relax. It's going to help you unwind, because you can't live life being so tense and so fearful of things. And so if you just need a little bit of a mental break, that's okay. But let's say you've been lazy all day, you've not done anything productive. Maybe you don't need to watch TV anymore. Maybe you need to go and do something else that's going to benefit you. So just be a little bit more balanced with your approach to things. And so for those of you where you've been lacking confirmation in your life, this is confirmation from your guides that you're protected, that you're on the right path, that you're doing what you need to do in order to get where you want to be, in order to follow through with this intention that you set. Even if you forgot that you said it, you did, you asked for it. And so the universe is providing you exactly what you wanted. You just need to start taking more accountability and responsibility for it and reflecting on what actually needs to be done in order to move you out of your current mental state, in order to stop doubting yourself with this Eight of Swords here, and allow yourself to cut these cords of doubt to free yourself and get what you actually want so that you can be this light here. Your spirit guides wanted to bring some things into your awareness so that you can start changing your behaviors. You can start being a little bit more mindful of them and reach this end game faster than you will if you just continue to sit and complain. And so I'm not saying this from a place of judgment. I'm saying this because your guides care about you, I care about you, and everyone has been at a place like this in our lives. We all doubt ourselves, but what you have to remember is that doubt can't control you forever, or else you will never be happy with where you're at. And so I hope that this reading was able to give you the advice and the motivation you need in order to keep pushing forward, even in small baby steps, so that you will eventually get where you want to be. And so please, in the comments down below, share what this goal of yours is. Share what you are going to do to change your habits and behaviors in order to manifest it into your life a little bit faster. If this video resonated, please give it a big thumbs up and share with others who need to hear it. Any way you can support my channel really helps me out. I really appreciate it. If you're not already subscribed, please do. I would love to have you a part of this family. And make sure you turn on that bell notification so you don't miss out when I post my next video. I can't wait to see you all in my next video, and I hope you have a good one into the end. Bye.